So I mentioned to you yesterday, I did this little vlog thing where I said that I hadn't been around for a couple of days, and I had promised I was going to continue those dungeon corridor bricks in Substance Designer. And so my kids have been sick, and there's been a lot of things happening here. 1 week before school starts again, my daughter goes into grade one. My other son, Harry, has one more year before he starts kindergarten. So I started late in life having kids. But anyways, as far as Blender and all those associated programs go, I have moved on with the Dungeon Corridor quite a bit. I've been doing a lot of work on the lighting and various materials. Some things, I can show you how I did. Other things are just typical that you would do anytime you do a scene. But I am going to finish the bricks. It's either going to be one or two videos, because what we need to do is the damage or the grunge, the cracks, and then just a little bit on the coloring. It's very, very straightforward what I've done, but I think it suits the scene. I'm a little stumped on something, and it's taking me some time to figure out what I want to do, because I've got the bricks coming down, and I had thought about concrete, but now I put bricks down in the lower part just below the trim where the chains hang. And the whole thing is looking very bricky to me right now. And I've got different sort of colored bricks, and I don't know if you're going to like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that. So it's back and forth, sometimes for hours trying this and that. This is the first real project that I've integrated Designer. I've used Designer a bit, but for smaller things, the first time I've done it on such a bigger scale. I've done the floor as well, by the way, and the floor has some interesting sloping bricks where they slope right down to the ground, and it's just the ground. It's just a bare color, right? And that's okay. I want to maybe have a little bit of flowers. I don't want to give it away and then not do it. But I'm thinking just for a splash of color and life in this dungeon. And it's not going to be as dirty and grungy as you might think. It's more a cartoon, a little bit like a computer game, kind of old-fashioned graphics. That's what I'm going for more than a realistic dungeon. You have to wait and see what I'm talking about. But anyways, I am going to finish the video, the Substance Designer stuff, on doing the bricks. I'm going to show you how to bring them into Substance Painter, either with an SBSAR file, which is like a Smart Material, or the individual textures. And there should be, I think, 4 textures: a normal, a color, an ambient occlusion, and a height. So I'm going to show you a couple methods, and then we need to get them from Substance Painter into Blender. And some of it is going to have some real height variation, and we can get that to show in Substance Painter. But to get that to work in Blender, the best way that I have found is using cycles. And I have been using for years now Eevee. I like Eevee. I like the look that I get. I know it doesn't deal with shadows the same way, but I like the looks that I get in Eevee. But I'm not having good success in Eevee with those, with the actual tessellation or displacement that you would get from cycles. So I'm going to show you the setup, because I think that's important, because I had to tinker around for a while to get it to work nicely. It's not hard at all, but me with my old brain. Anyhow, so I do have some things to show you, and we will be wrapping up the Dungeon Corridor soon, starting another Blender challenge and moving on to some other things. I want to say one more thing, however. You may not see me model a grapefruit in the next little while, or Game Boy, because repetition is very important. And once you get a method that works well for you, it's a good idea to do it again and again in order to sort of perfect it, in order to get the workflow moving smoothly without too many glitches, and you get better at it. And I've done that quite a bit. I've also jumped around in my videos, and I've done a radio, and then a hand grenade, and then a gun, and then a wall, and then a book, this kind of thing. But if you want to get good at something, you have to practice, just like anything. And so, because I'm now integrating Designer into the workflow, I may be doing a bunch of things with bricks. or or similar, just to really hone that skill and get the sense of how big stuff has to be, how I'm tiling it, what colors I'm using, and whether I'm using displacement and all the factors. So don't be too surprised if I do another dungeon or something like that, so I can practice getting this workflow down. All right. Anyways, lots more to talk to you about, but I'll leave it for now. Hope you're going to have a good day today. It's early morning here on a Sunday out in St. John, and I hope to be back tonight, and I hope you'll join me. Take care.